The reality is that residents in Teddington, Twickenham, St Margaret's and across the region do not trust Thames Water, they do not trust regulators, and they do not trust the government to hold them to account. And this is precisely why, at a national level, Liberal Democrats are calling for wholesale reform of the water industry, transforming private companies like Thames Water into public good corporations with value for the customer and the environment written into their DNA. It's also why, at a local level, we're standing up for residents' concerns over these plans and calling on the government to consider viable alternatives to this scheme, which will damage our river environment for little reward in terms of long-term resilience. We urge the Minister and the Secretary of State to give the Teddington scheme and all of Thames Water's infrastructure plans the full and proper scrutiny they deserve, ensuring they are best value not only for their stakeholders but also for their customers paying their bills today and the environment our children will inherit tomorrow. On scrutiny, they will find this proposal is deeply flawed and should be stopped in its tracks now. To quote the Minister herself, water is a precious resource. We're asking the government to show this isn't just a platitude, but at the heart of their policies. So in conclusion, I would ask the Minister to start by giving us a timeline for when the Secretary of State expects to make her decision, and by answering the various questions I've raised today. What does she think of Thames Water pursuing quick fixes instead of sustainable solutions like restoring the Cotswold canals? Does she think it's acceptable that Thames Water have put forward water recycling without a full environmental impact assessment? What does she think of the risks of constructing the scheme and the fact that, that Thames Water didn't make these clear to the community from the outset? Does she think that pumping treated effluent into the river is even viable given the current levels of sewage pollution in our waterways? Will she take up the unanswered questions of residents both on the River Thames scheme and the Queen Mary Reservoir in her discussions with Thames Water? And finally, could she look local residents and their children in the eye and tell them that this scheme is worth the consequences for our river, our precious local environment and our vibrant community of river user groups? Thank you.